Okay, so that now after you have opened Colab, okay, so Colab is quite useful because some of you already know about Python already. For them, they can use Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter also, but I will focus on the people who don't have any experience. That's how we should go, so that everyone works on the same page with me. So you can do that, but I want you to, without needing any installation, any process, you directly go to a web browser and start coding. That's my approach. So you can do that by you going to Colab. Okay. Now that you have gone to Colab and registered, okay, you can see some windows like this. Okay. You can start by creating a new notebook. Okay. So you can go here and you can say, yeah, new notebook in Drive. You can say new notebook in Drive. So you can create a new notebook. Okay. And then you will be starting to see these cells. For you, it will be empty because you would not have typed anything yet. Okay. So can you create a new notebook? Has everyone created a new notebook? Good. Fine. Now, what I'm doing in the first line here is I'm importing NumPy as MP. So NumPy and Pandas are the libraries. Okay, NumPy and Pandas are the libraries which we will use for data analytics. Okay, so since you are using it in a web browser, you have to import these libraries every time you use them. Okay, if you are using a Jupyter notebook in your own system, you have installed it using Anaconda and stuff, you don't have to again and again import these libraries every time. But if you are using Colab, you have to import these every time. That's the only difference. I hope it is kind of clear, right? So since you are in Colab notebook, it's based on a web browser, you have to import NumPy and Pandas every time. Okay, fine. So I have to run this cell. Suppose you wrote a notebook of code and you are opening it tomorrow. Okay, you are opening it suppose tomorrow. So with that time, since yesterday till that time, it remained idle, right? It was not used. So you cannot say that I just want to use this command directly. No, it won't understand it. You have to run each cell from the start tomorrow also. You cannot run any cell from the middle. Okay, got the idea? You understood? Since I have, maybe, let me see, since I have not used this notebook for around 4 to 5 hours, so it has been idle. Let me see, I don't know, if I run this, some command, yeah, it is throwing some error. Okay, it is throwing some error. You can see on the red, it is not printing what I want because it has been idle. It doesn't know what is df, so I have to run all the statements and the cells above it. Okay, so this is one of the hidden things which you will learn from experience. Okay, so let us start from the first. So I am importing numpy as np and I am importing pandas as pd. Okay, so whenever I want to use pandas library, if I want to use any function based on the pandas library, I can access it using pandas. But pandas, I have referred it to as a short form pd. So I can say like pd dot something. Instead of writing pandas again and again, I can just write pd dot something to access any function from pandas. I hope it is okay. Huh? Right? So let us run this. Okay, you can see a green tick has appeared now, right? 0 second. You can see the time also, it is showing how much time it took to run also. Execute this line, execute this cell. So you can see a green tick, that means it has compiled. We can move to the next one. So here I am using one of my data set of the marks, the internal marks in data analytics from 2023 batch. Okay, so I don't think you will have that. Okay, so but still you can see on this folder I have this file name. Can you see the file name? Final underscore internal underscore marks dot csv. It's a csv file and we are trying to read the csv file. Okay, how we can read the csv? What is a csv file? Yes, it is known as comma separated values file. Okay, so how we can read the csv file? That's the idea. So there is a command for that. Okay, there is a command for that. So from Pandas library, we are taking that command. Okay, you can see, therefore, we are not using read CSV only. We are not using read CSV only. We are using pd.read CSV. Can you see pd.read CSV? After and inside double quotation, then you put a bracket inside double quotation, you write the path. This is the path. How you will get the path? Any ideas? You can go to this file name, click on these three dots. You can see copy path. Okay, you can see copy path. Let me copy the path. For your sake, I can delete this. Okay. And I can paste this path again. Fine. You can see. I hope you understood how I got the path to the file, right? Now what I can do, df. So pd.read CSV, I am telling it that you read this CSV file. Which CSV file? That is inserted in the brackets. And this is the path. I mean, I am giving him a direction to which file to go and read the CSV file, right? Understood? After I read that CSV file, what I need to do? I need to store it in somewhere. I need to store somewhere, right? Where I can store? I am storing it in a variable known as df. df. What is df? Df is a short form I'm using for a data frame. So any data set in Pandas, you can call it as a data frame. Okay, we're comprising of rows, columns, those kind of things. So you can call it as a data frame. As a short form, I am using df. I hope it is clear for all of you, right? Any issues, any queries till now? Any queries? No. Okay, so now you understood. I am reading the CSV file. I am reading the CSV file and I am storing it in df. So if I want to access any columns, so obviously that CSV file will have rows and columns, right? It will have the name of the students, which branch they are studying, what is their roll number, okay, and what internal marks they have got. I hope that is clear, right? So where it will be stored? How I can access? Through df, because df has all the information after reading the CSV file. Agree? Agree. Okay. So now I have to run this. You can see again it ran properly. Now df, now Pandas knows what is df. Sorry, Colab knows what is df. Okay. So now our aim is to understand what is in df. What are the columns and attributes and features inside df data frame? What is the first column of df? What is the first row of df? What is the 100th row of df? That's all we are going to do in this session. Okay, fine. Now I want to know what is df look like. After you store the data file inside df, you want to know how df looks like, isn't it? How df looks like? Anyone can predict? So you have to say print. Print. That's a function. Print. Inside that, what you want to print? I want to print df because that's the CSV file. So I print bracket df, right? So now let me run this command. So you can see this file over here. You can see that some part of it's not that much clear, but you can see it has some data sets like School of Digital Sciences is mentioned, MSc Computer Science with specialization in this. Name of the student is mentioned. Okay. Then you can see, let me go down a bit. Yes, you can see even their roll number, their email ID, okay, how much marks they have scored in the lab exam, in the theory 2, lab viva, those kind of things, okay. And you can see this is the final. I mean, out of all those components, I have made a final mark. This is out of 10, this is out of 60. So we can just multiply it by 6. You can see this is the whole data set it has. Fine. This is how DF looks like. Okay. Now, as a first understanding, what we can do is print at least some rows of DF. Just because this I am plotting the whole data set, and this data set has 100 rows and so many columns. So it might not be that convenient to see in this. So what we can do is plot some 5 to 6 rows or 5 to 6 columns of that data set. Okay. That you can do by using the head command. Head. Okay. If you use, so now where is our data file located in? Where all the attributes are stored? Can you tell me? DF. Now, if you want to do any manipulations, any extraction of the data, you have to do it from DF. Agree? Now, inside DF, what I want to achieve is I want to print the first 5 rows of DF. Agree? How I can do that? There is a command for it. I mean, you don't have to write a program for it. There is a command that is df.head. Okay, df.head, if you do, by default, it will print you the first 5 rows of your dataset. Okay, so you can see, let me go down. What is the output? Yes, you can see this is the output. I hope you can see in the back. Is it clear? So you can see this is first. So you can see this is the final internal marks is the name of the CSV file. Then the school. This is the first column. You can see School of Digital Sciences. This is the school where the students are. The second column is unnamed one. This is a bad part. The bad part. Why? I have taken this specific data set to show you where there is a problem in data. This should not be unnamed one, right? This is not good. So in fact, we don't need this row at all, right? Instead, this we are fine with course, name of student, roll number, email ID, marks 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. How many rows are printed? Can you see? You can see this is considered as one of the rows. School 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whenever you want to see the first 5 rows of a data set, to just encounter how your data set looks like, you can just use head command. Head. So you can feel like it's a common sense, right? So everyone who wants to see you, they check your face. Okay. Then they check from top to bottom, head to tail, right? So if you want to print last 5 rows of your data set, what you command you should use? Tail. Yes, exactly. So you have to use the tail. So can we do that? So let me write df.tail and then the command, right? Here you can press this button to run it, or when you are in the cell and the cursor is blinking, you can see you can run it by shift enter together. You can click on shift and enter. It is running. Okay, somehow my server got disconnected. Yes, can you see that I have used the tail command, and the last few names of there are total 83 rows, you can see. So the last 79 to 83 are displayed here. You can see the final internal marks, the branch they are in, the name, the ID, the marks, and the final marks. Okay, you can see. So tail, head and tail. Now you can see that these are just common sense based. Doesn't need to have anything hi-fi which you cannot understand. So, but you need practice for this. You need practice. Okay. So whenever I type this, it is your duty to type it back. Okay. Fine. So let us go back. Okay, fine. df.tail also we understood. Okay, fine. Now you can print what are the types in your data frame. This is a data frame df, right? Now you want to understand what are the types in my data frame df. So for that, what you can do, you can use the type command. Type, what is the type of data? Type, and then you can use the brackets, right? And if you do that, it won't run anything. You have to print the type of the data. So if you want to visualize anything, you have to print it. Okay. So when you print it, it is saying yes, pandas.core.frame.dataframe. So it's a data frame. Okay, fine. Let us go to the next command. Suppose you want to understand how many rows and how many columns are there in your dataset. So what you do in Excel, you open the Excel file, you go from top to bottom, you count manually. You check manually, okay, there are some 120 data sets and how many columns are there. That is hectic. If you have a larger data set, that is hectic, isn't it? So what you can do is in Python, you can just type a command, it can tell you, it can give you the output, how many rows are there, how many columns are there. How you can do that? Shape. How you can do that? Shape command, right? What is the shape of this rectangle? What is your answer? Your answer is the length and the breadth. So if you ask shape of the data frame, it will give you the number of rows and the number of columns, right? So when you type print df.shape, you can see there are 84, 11. What does it mean? There are 84 rows and 11 columns. Agree? And does it make sense to you? Tell me yes or no. And how you know that it is correct? Can you tell me that it is correct? How you can verify that it is correct? Yes, exactly. That's one of the strategy you can use by printing head and tail. Especially by printing tail, you can know. Okay, when you print tail, you can see the number here, 83. And remember, in Python, always the first thing starts with 0. Okay, in other programming languages, you can start with 1. Okay, but in Python, it starts with 0. So from 0 to 83. From 0 to 83, how many rows? 84. From 1 to 83, how many rows? From 1 to 83, suppose, how many rows? 83. From 0 to 83, how many rows? 84. So you know the difference. Okay. So therefore, when you see 83 here, it means there are 84 rows. And you can count the number of columns also here. There are 11 of them. Okay. Fine. So you can get the size of your data set by using the shape command. Okay. Suppose you want to know how many columns are there and what are they? What are the columns? Okay. So you can print, you can say df.columns. You indirectly are telling that in the data frame, tell me the columns in the data frame. Okay. Tell me the columns in the data frame. So what you can do, you can print df.columns. You can say print df.columns, and there you can see it has given you final internal marks, unnamed 1, unnamed 2, these things. But this is what I wanted you to show, that this is not a good data set. Why this is not a good data set? Because the column names are not able to give you any information. The column names are not able to give you any information. So therefore you have to clean your data. That means the unnamed 1 should be the name, unnamed 2 should be the roll number. You have to edit them. You have to edit in such a way in your CSV file so that it knows that yes, this instead of unnamed 1, you can type the name, roll number, marks, or email ID, whatever. Then it will be more informative. Agree? Okay. So this is a motivation that your data needs cleaning. Okay, your data needs cleaning or pre-processing. Okay. Fine. So you can see that. And you can also see what are the types, what are the data types. You can see it is object. It's fine. We'll not go much deep. If you want to know more information about your data set, I mean more information at a single place, you can use info command. Okay. So df.info. df.info. Fine. Similarly, as you were doing head, similarly, you can use info command, df.info, and what information it is giving you? It is giving you, yes, your entries are 84 entries from 0 to 83. Mind this. Python starts from 0, therefore you are seeing 0 to 83. Then you can see the columns. You can see unnamed 1, unnamed 2, and each of them. And it shows how many non-null counts are there. So this info command is a very nice way of checking whether your data set is missing any elements or not. Why? Because here you see that all the columns are showing you 84 non-null entries. What does it mean? Non-null entries. What does it mean? It means all entries are filled. It means all entries are filled. That means there is no missing elements in your data set. Is it okay with everyone? So therefore, when you want to know whether your data set has any missing elements or not, you can use df.info. You can use df.info. Agree? Yes. So you can see there are 84 non-null entries, and each of them are of type object. Okay, fine. And memory usage is around 7.3 KB. Fine. Okay. Okay. So small mistake I have done here. So I should have made it in code. So you can see that suppose I want to get access to the first column of my data set. First column of my data set. Okay. So how I can do that? How I can access first column of my data set? So you can, so finally it is coming from df data frame. So what you can do is df square brackets colon, sorry, the hyphen, and then you write the name of the column you are in. Okay, unnamed one. Okay, that will be stored in course df. What does it mean? I mean which course they are studying. Okay, agree? So this is not written in terms of a coding one. I can just, I can make a code for here. Okay, you can see now it has run. So df unnamed one means from the data frame I have accessed, I told df that you give me only the unnamed one column. Okay, only that column I will store. I need that column only. I don't need any other column. Okay, I needed that column, and that column I stored as a different data frame, that is course underscore df. Just a notation. You can use course df also without any underscore. Agree? It's just a name I have given. I mean, I wanted to tell that this data frame has the information about courses, whether it is MSc, CSTA, or DSCS, BioA, GIS, like that. Okay. So now I want to print. As usual, I want to see what is there in the data frame course DF, right? I want to see what is in the data frame. So what should I do? As usual, I can do print head and tail, right? So you can see print course df.head, right? So when you print it, you can see the first 5 rows, okay? You can see MSc specialization in this first 5, okay? Same way you can do the tail. Same way, like it's already run. You can see the last 5. So df.head has how many entries? How you will know? Which command you have to use? If you want to know how many entries does course df has, you want to know the shape. You want to know the shape. So what command you have to use? Yes. So what I have to type? Can anyone tell? Mm-hmm. Course. So when you type, it automatically gives you suggestions. You don't have to type the full data frame name. See, whenever it gives you suggestion, yes, course df is there, I click it. Okay. Then what else I have to do? Shape and then a bracket. Don't ever miss out this bracket. Okay. If you type dot shape and no brackets, then it will throw an error. Okay. Why it will throw an error? Anyone? If you write just why it is giving error? I any ideas? Why? Hmm? Yeah. So this is the problem. Now we have encountered an error. How to debug this error and get back the output? Now that you have known about shape, now that you know about data frame, now you know that about print. Can you tell me error in here? Shape. What should I do? You have to lift me out of trouble. Remove the bracket. Okay, worked. Why it worked? Why it did not work previously? Why it did not work when I put brackets, and when I did not put bracket, it worked? This is an assignment for next class. Okay, why df dot shape bracket did not work, but df dot shape only worked? Hmm? It is not a function. What is it then? Attribute. So whenever you have a function, you have to put brackets. When it is an attribute, you don't have to. Anyway, so same thing, you can print out the tail. Suppose you want to print out the first row of the tail. You can use inside that n equal to 1. Okay. Agree? So you see this here. See where I printed print df course df dot tail. Okay. It is giving me all these things, right? What I want to do, I want to print n equal to 1, means the last row. The last row of the tail. Okay. If you want to print only the last row of the tail, yes, if you want to print the last row of the tail, you can use n equal to 1 inside the tail command. Agree? You can see it here. So my question is, suppose you want to print the first row of the tail, what do you have to do? Hmm? Can you try? No, n equal to 1 is the last entry. You can see 83, right? You can see 83 here. 83 is the last entry. So if you want the last entry, you have to put n equal to 1. So I wanted 79th entry. That is the first entry of the tail. How I can do it? Shall we do? Mm-hmm. N equal to 5 instead printed all the elements. N equal to, yeah, someone said -1. No, anyone? N equal to, how can I print the first row? Shall we use 0? Mm-hmm. So you are telling me, n equal to 1 with head. Let us see what it gives. Okay, so this is something for you to, I won't give the answer. Huh? Tail dot head. Head. Can you tell me the command? What I have to type? Print. Hmm? Okay. Course df dot tail. Inside that dot head. Dot head bracket. Yeah. Why it work? Can you explain? You explain. Explain to the class. Tail, tail is the last 5 rows, and on that I am applying the head n equal to 1. So it takes the first row from that last 5 rows. First row of the last 5 rows. That's head on. Okay, good. So here you have mixed both head and tail operations to get an element. So getting the last element is quite easy, but getting the first element is quite tricky. Okay. So anyway, I see that assignments are solved in classes itself. It is a good sign. But anyway, I urge that everyone should practice this. So what I can do is I can give you on my Google Classroom both this a notebook file and the Excel file, the data file, and I expect you to type them. Okay, even though it is there, I want you to type them in a new cell and check it. Okay, you should not just look and run it. You should type it, or else maybe we can change our assignment. Right? We can give Titanic assignment to them. Is it good? What we can do is apply all these things, apply all these techniques of tail head on a Titanic dataset. Titanic dataset is freely available. You just have to call that dataset. Okay, we'll see how to call that dataset towards the end of the class. But yeah, I mean, whatever operations we are doing, the shape, the size, the first column, the tail, the head, all the extraction mechanism, you have to apply for Titanic dataset. That's the assignment for next class. Okay, fine. And you have to submit it. Okay. So we'll see. Okay, so suppose you want to create a subset of the all full data frame in a way that you want the first two columns to be inside a data frame. Only the first two columns. Previously you stored only one column. Now you want to store two columns. Okay, how you can store that? Suppose you want to store only two columns in a new data frame. How you can do that? That's my question. So how you can do that? You can do that by this command. Df stores the full data set. You can type in a square bracket. Remember this. Inside a square bracket, there is a square bracket. It's like a list. You will learn it later in Python programming, but you can see that here df, then there is a square bracket. Inside that you are telling that I want these columns as a list, that I want unnamed 1, I want unnamed 2. If you would have typed unnamed 5 also, it would come. Okay, so in that case you will store 1, 2 and 5 column, right? So if you do that, that I am treating as subset. You can write any name. Okay, subset. So subset is a new data frame consisting of the first two columns. Okay. And what I'm doing here is I'm printing that subset, print subset. Okay. To see what are the data set look like. You can see unnamed 1, unnamed 2. Okay. In unnamed 1, you can see all the course files name from 1 to 83. Sorry, from 0 to 83. And the second column, the name of the students. Okay. From the first branch to the last branch. Okay. Fine. Okay. So what we can do is we can learn more about this in the next class, maybe. Other comments, maybe. Yes, that sounds okay. So what is your task is, I will show you. Yes. So your task is to get this data set of Titanic. Okay. You can see I have imported Seaborn also. Seaborn is a plotting library. You can plot using Seaborn. Okay. So that we will discuss during the last parts of the course when we will be dealing with data visualization. Okay. But anyway, you can load the dataset of Titanic from SNS, that is Seaborn. Okay. So import Seaborn as SNS, load the Titanic dataset. Titanic equals to SNS dot load dataset Titanic. Okay. Fine. After you do this, Titanic stores the dataset. Okay. Titanic stores the dataset, and you want to see how it looks like. You can print the head command. So you can print Titanic.head. How it looks like? You can see that it looks like this. Okay, where it has given the survived column P class. So there are, you can see there are three classes, 1, 2, 3. And what is the sex of them, like male or female? What is the age of those in the Titanic ship? And all the things like fare, what's the fare, what's the class they are in, who, it's a man or a woman or adult, whether it's an adult male embarked town also, where Southampton or Cherbourg, all those things, whether they are alive or whether they were alone, all set of all kind of data is there. Okay. I want you to apply whatever techniques we have discussed in today's class, where I applied for final internal marks. I urge you to apply them on Titanic dataset. What you can do, get the head, get the tail, get the first row, get the last row, okay, get the first two columns, fine. All these things you can do. So this is the assignment for this class, okay. You should show me whatever you are doing in the next class. In that way only you can learn this. So programming you can learn by doing. Okay, I can show you some tiny bits here and there, but it is you who has to make your hands dirty into the coding and learn it. The more you type it, the more you make mistakes by typing it, the more you will learn it. That's the aspect. Okay. Okay. We'll meet next class.